there's a big problem. This is not a drill. We are on full red alert status because the entire Snake Eye deck, including Snake Eye Popular, has just released in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in the middle of the night. This is not a drill, boys. The entire deck is legal and playable on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. But anyway, what's up, guys? Mike Thomas, aka the Young Trishula here, and we are here once again today with Twitch chat. They're still over here. You can join us on Twitch at twitch.tv/TrishulaTTV, and we have a deck list. That's the intro. That's the intro today. Take it or leave it. The cards are in the game. I don't think anybody was really expecting this. I am completely blindsided because I was not prepared for these cards to be in the game, and they're just in the game. So I guess now Master Duel is the best place to go and practice for YCS Las Vegas if you are going to that event, I guess. So today I'm going to be showing you guys I'm going to change up the format. I know you guys are owed a Dragon Link deck profile. That was going to be today's video. However, that is just not happening because now there are Snake Eye cards. So I'm going to condense stuff a little bit. What we're going to do is I am going to, in this video, give you guys both replays and a deck. Fair deal. Fair deal. Normally I split it into 2 videos. So as compromise, I'll give you guys 1 video with replays and a deck profile. Fair deal. And in exchange, you will go down into the comment section and you will tell me how much you love me and how much you are thankful for me condensing this into 1 video so I don't milk you guys for 2 videos. So, and then you're going to like and you're going to comment and you're going to subscribe because this is YouTube and you're going to do that like a good YouTube watcher that you are. And before we hop into it, there's just a couple more housekeeping things that we're going to get into very quickly. While you're down in the description, liking and subscribing and whatnot, remember to download the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Tracker for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel because these cards are new. I am going to be posting in my Discord a link to the code that you can use to import the deck into Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel because it adds cool features like that, like importing decks into the game, which should really just be in the game normally. Konami, please add it. But they're not. So we use the deck tracker. And it's free and it helps us out. So do that. Second thing that I'm going to bring up housekeeping wise is that they've added, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's called the Rookie and Returner Mutual Follower campaign. So if you go here in game and you create a new account, like if you're a new Yu-Gi-Oh player and you're just getting into the game and you want to make your account, you can use our campaign code here. It's on the screen. I'm circling it with my mouse. You can put this in and then follow our account on Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and I'll show you the code for that in a minute. And you can get all these cool prizes, like a Sword Soul deck. A Sword Soul deck. It's available in the game for free, and all you have to do is put in this little code when you make your account and then follow me, and I will show you my Master Duel ID, which is this. So just follow this account, and if you're really cool, you'll put your ID in the comment section below, and then I will follow you back, and then we both get the rewards. And that is really fun and cool because I want the rewards too. Please help me get the rewards. Thank you. And now that all of that is out of the way, let's watch the replays that I have saved because I think they're pretty good. And then we'll get into the deck list. So that's the structure of the video, and you guys all understood that. And I am not going to have to yell at you guys in the comment section below. So you can see this deck is doing pretty okay so far. Pretty okay. I think this is the first one I want to show. These are not in like any particular order. These were just a few games. Like I picked out a few games that I thought were decent, and we're just gonna go through them. If I was a better content creator, we would have planned this more, but we're not. So deal with it. But here we are. So this is the first game. As you can see, we're going first. We opened a pretty okay hand with like Droll and Lockbird, which is now back in the format. It had kind of fallen out of the format for like a week or 2 because everybody stopped playing Super Heavy Samurai and Manadium. And now it's back because it's good into this deck. And this is probably the best deck in the game by a lot. We got the Popular, which the little funny pink guy is in the game. I'm not lying to you. He is here. I don't know why they released this card this early. So he's here. We're playing our budget bonfire and where Arfbow, and I'll get into this more when we get into the deck profile. So just know that this is budget bonfire basically. We have the Wanted, the Secret of Sinful Spoils, and we have the original Sinful Spoils Snake Eye. I did not lead with this in draw phase. I think I misclicked because normally I would activate this in draw phase, play around Joel, but he ashed it. Cool. That's why we lead with it. And then we normal summon Popular. And he decides to Imperm Poplar. And I'm not entirely positive if this is correct. Probably. Because, like, normal summoning this is not the normal summon you want to do. But kind of like in Dragon Link, sometimes your suboptimal normal summon is still pretty good. So you can go, you know, normal to Popular. And go into Link Karibo and then Popular effect. Place itself in the scale. Fun fact about this card, in case you've only watched YouTube replays and you haven't actually played with this deck, this can put any fire monster that's in your graveyard into the spell trap zone. So there's some real cool interactions that I think come up in later replays. But this card is broken. This card's very good. So obviously we put it back in the scale, and now we have Sinful Spoils to send it. And the reason I want to show you guys this replay is that a lot of people have asked me in my Twitch chat, what is our game plan into Maxi? And something I don't think maybe everybody's realized is that this deck can droll itself, which is not something that you can always do. So droll, I have always said, is not a good answer to Maxi, because a lot of the times it does more damage to you than them, because they're ripping a card out of your hand while also like handicapping your play, like it's stopping you from setting up. That's not the case in this deck. This deck just does anything it wants to underneath the droll, which is also another thing that people seem to be concerned about, is like, oh, how does this deck beat droll? Apparently we just don't care. So we're gonna droll ourselves here, and so far you can see that my opponent has hand trapped me 3 times, and then I applied a 4th hand trap to myself. So we are currently under 4 hand traps, and we are still playing the goddamn game. So anyway, we summon our Snake Eye to Oak back out, gets back the Popular, and then I tribute itself and the Link Karibo go for the Flamberge because he's already ashed us, so it doesn't matter. I put the Ash in his spell trap zone, try and play around Infirm or something. I probably should have put the Maxi there, not this, just in case I needed to go for Hito, but I didn't do that because it doesn't matter. And he was lighting up a lot, and I thought it was like Labyrinth cards, so I was just trying to test for stuff. So I go Link Karibo here, and I sack off the Popular. It probably should have been reversed to try and get the Oak back into my hand, but it is 6:30 in the morning, and I have been live for like 10 hours. So sometimes the plays are not perfect. But anyway, he drops a Bestial on me, and I'm like, okay, that's strange. And I go for Promethean Princess. I summon out the Flamberge. Now, if I had known that my opponent was playing a deck that had Bestials in it, I maybe would have just not put this here and then waited for the Bestial and then like pushed it back into the spell trap zone. But I had no way of knowing that he was playing Bestials. And on top of that too, you know, it was more likely that he had Imperm or something that was useless. So yeah. So we make the Promethean, we get back Flamberge, we make Amblo Whale, and that's, you know, full combo through like 4 hand traps at this point. But it's not over because he has like a full hand, and of course we're playing against Branded, and they find a way into Branded Fusion, as they always do. And this seems pretty bad. This seems pretty bad. And I think a lot of people in chat were just saying, "Oh, you don't win this. Like the game is over. Just scoop." And I was like, "No, hold on. We're gonna cook." So he adds the Branded Fusion back, and you know he dumps his dudes. He goes for Albion. You know, Albion effect. And he is going to fuse off his Magnuma and the Albaz, which, you know, sure. And then goes Lubellion, pitches a Maxi, which is disturbing. And then he summons a Mirror Jade, and of course he's going to have the Lubellion at the end. And then he chains another Maxi, and I was like, oh my god, you are the greatest gamer of all time. And then he chains Mirror Jade. And this is actually not a complete misplay from him. And the reason for that is, like, some people don't know this, but the princess is still going to summon out. So even if the Amblo Whale gets banished. So he does know that he's going to get his draw. So we're just going to pop the Mirror Jade, and he's going to draw a card. And unfortunately, Mirror Jade is going to trigger itself, so that we're going to lose this. And then he's going to go for Lubellion, grab Branded Beast. But apparently he doesn't know what his own Mirror Jade does after he triggered it. So he pops my dude. I don't know what was going on with that. Maybe he had a brain off moment. I'm not sure. And, you know, he goes for Quem. Sets Branded Regained. And, you know, this is fine. I'm like, all right, we can play through this. I draw the Imperm here. And I don't Imperm this because I'm just like thinking to myself, it's like, I think I can play through this, but like I want to test it. So I'm just not going to Imperm this. See if we can play through this. So we start off, if you weren't paying attention, you know, we start by searching our Snake Eye Oak using the normal spell in our graveyard because it was in our graveyard at the start of our turn. We could banish it, recycle a card, and then search for any level 1 fire, which is fantastic. So we did that. We got the Snake Eye Oak, and then we also put back the normal spell with the Seeker that was in our graveyard, the Wanted, and we drew another card. So we drew a few cards here, and we generated some advantage, which is one of the things that this deck can do. It can just generate a bunch of advantage at the start of their turn. Like at the start of your turn, you just generate a bunch of cards out of nowhere, and being able to see that is very, very nice because you're just looking at it like, okay, like I have a million cards, like I feel very good right now. So here I'm going to, you know, activate my field spell, get back the Flamberge, and I am going to then wear Arfthau, grab the Magician Souls, and I don't think this really comes up too much in any of the replays that I'm going to show, but so I'll explain it when we get to the deck profile. But I searched this just while we have the level 1s on field because I know that this is coming at some point, and I want to make sure that I have my cards before I can't search with Arfthau now. So we go battle phase, and I'm trying to force out the Quem here, and he goes Branded in Red effect to target the Fallen of Albaz. And now he goes for the Guardian Chimera. So Guardian Chimera here is going to be able to pop a card and draw him a couple cards, which is pretty good. But I say, okay, that's fine, you know, because Divine Temple is a broken card. If he summons a monster, I get to special summon a monster from my spell trap zone. And then Promethean Princess also triggers because he summons a monster. So I'm just telling him, you know what, I'm summoning a monster. I don't care what monster it is, I'm summoning one. And he goes Guardian Chimera, of course, uses his effect to then draw some cards, pop the field spell, that goes away. And then I just trade the Popular for the Princess. And, you know, we've come out of this exchange very nicely. I put the Sunlight Wolf back in the spell and trap card zone, trying to set up maybe for like an IP play later. And I just go swing, swing. And then still in the battle phase, I just go Wanted, search a card, so that we can go first action and go Oak effect, tribute the Flamberge, and go for the Snake Eye Ash. And then I actually don't use the effect of Flamberge here, even though I had legal targets, because I wanted to put it on the field with Promethean Princess in case he drew into a Nibiru. And after he saw that, he scooped. So I don't know if he had the nib, but clearly he did not like where this was going, and he conceded. We also searched the Jet Synchron there because we had the Diabell Star. So the game plan was kind of going to be, you know, special summon the Diabell Star Witch by pitching the Jet Synchron, and then, you know, summoning the Magician Souls, drawing some cards, you know, doing all that good stuff, and then making a Savage Dragon as well as, you know, some other guys on the field, all while telling him, if you nib me, I am going to resolve Flamberge and make a big board, and you're going to have a problem with that, and I'm not. So very, very, very safe, very, very powerful. So that was the first replay. Going into the second replay, this is kind of an interesting one, where I think this is one where I brick really hard, and it's kind of a late game scenario. And I think the thing I wanted to show off is this late game scenario. So I'm just going to start here by setting 2. Obviously, if this was real Bonfire, this was playable, but this is bootleg Bonfire, so it's not. So he's going to go to Dear Servant, and we're just going to Ash it. And then he'll play Fateful Adventure with Right. He searches his Draco back, and then searches his Wandering Griffin Rider. And I'm afraid because if he has anything, you know, we die. You know, we're already at 4k life points. He doesn't need much to kill us from here. But thankfully, he just goes Battle Phase and just goes Punch Punch. And he passes. And I say, okay, that's fine. I have cross out plus call by, and I did the math on this like live, like during the scenario. I think there were over 13 cards that we could draw in this situation that like let us play through like this. Like there's like 13 good draws here, and that is because we have all the DUEL stars. You know, they're all good. We have 1-for-1. We have the well, I guess 1-for-1's not great here, but you know, we have all the Snake Eye cards. Like every Snake Eye card works in this scenario. You know, we have the Where Art Thou already in our hand. That searches us another card. You know, we have a lot going on here, so I felt pretty comfortable just playing this out. And I ended up just summoning the Bellstar Witch. I didn't activate its effect because I didn't want to explode into the Griffin Rider. So then I just normal summoned my Ash Blossom and Synchro for Baron. Baron punched over the Griffin Rider. Very simple. And then we pop the token. And, you know, we set 2, and we're just saying, you know what? Sure, like hopefully this is good enough. He goes Pot of Extravagance, and he only goes draw 1, which I thought was weird. And then, you know, he shows us that he's playing Makonko. He foolishes a Fire Makonko and equips the Makonko Dance. I don't know what was going on here. My guess is that he was trying to get me to Baron negate Makonko Dance under the assumption that I didn't know what this card did. And he was probably hoping to, like I think his plan here was to get me to negate Makonko Dance so that he could then resummon Hare. I think that was his game plan. But here he just punches in. Maybe he was trying to bait out a back row. Maybe he thought that I would think that this would bounce my Baron if you know, it attacks even though it's not a Makonko. Maybe he didn't know. I didn't know. But at this point, we're fine because the Baron then brings out the DUEL Star. We go for the original Sinful Spoils, and then I have the Field Spell. I think this is kind of where it starts, where I want to show you guys. So something you can do is when you have the Field Spell and this, but like no like actual engine, you can put the Snake Eye Ash in the in your spell trap zone instead of going for like Flamberge like you normally would, and then special out the Oak and special it from the graveyard. Ash can then search Populace, and then Populace effect can summon itself. And I think here I didn't use its effect. I think that was oh no, I didn't have any targets. So I then, oh yeah, this is what it was. So I summoned out the Flamberg, and then the Popular put the Ash in my spell trap zone, and he nibs me, right? And the reason I want to show you guys this is the power of Flamberge into nib. So something that you should keep in mind when playing this deck is Flamberge is a soul charge if your opponent summon, or if it leaves the field. So you can kind of like if you play Dragon Link, which if you're following this channel, you probably did at some point. In the same way that you would summon Hieratic Seals to tell your opponent, don't nib me, because if you nib me, I'm going to play through it. Flamberge does the exact same thing. So it's not a hard negate for Nibiru, but if they nib you, you play through it. And that's kind of what I want to show off with this replay. So we go for the token, we link off some guys. I go for Hida, I steal his Hare, which is very funny because he gave us the fire one. And then we go for Promethean Princess, and this is very simple. There were a few different ways that we could have lethaled here, but I chose the funniest, which is also the most simple. And I just made Amblo Whale and used Flamberge to just push the nib back in the spell and trap zone and just say, haha. And I also go through the attack order, you know, like these two were already lethal because he took some chip damage, but I just show him that, you know, this is exactly 8,000 damage in case he cannot do math himself. And yeah, and then we, you know, very, very simple, nice and easy win. So that was that game. So two pretty decent games so far, like at least showing off something interesting. And then these last two here are another couple games I think show off one or two interesting things about the deck. I'm just trying to get like a decent, you know, overview for you guys. This isn't a proper combo video. I'll have a proper combo video for you guys sometime this week or next. You know, I've got regionals coming up pretty soon here, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get around to recording like a proper guide immediately, but it's coming. Like it's on the way. You guys have a Dragon Link video coming. You guys have more of Snake Eye stuff coming. Simple. So anyway, this was kind of an interesting. I remember this one. So we led with Snake Eye Ash plus Birch, and we got Valor on our Snake Eye Ash. Now, unfortunately, this hand doesn't do anything. The Valor kind of cooked this, right? But I was sitting here with Gamma and Droll in our opening hand, and I said, I have an idea. So I special summoned Birch out from my hand, and then I just chose to go neg-2. My solution was I'm going to go neg-2. I'm going to sack these monsters from my field for no effect, deliberately, and just pass. That was my game plan. And my opponent goes, I meet you. And I said, okay. To I meet you, I will chain the effect of Droll and Lockbird. And the idea here was that the Gamma plus Droll, like a combination of these two hand traps, should stop most decks. And then, once again, we were doing the math and thinking, it's like, okay, how many cards can I top deck here? And it's like, okay, well, I have 2 more Ashes, 2 Oaks, a Popular, 3 Diabell Star, 3 Wanted, 1 for 1. All of these cards in our deck, get us there. So I was like, that's a lot of cards. I think we'll probably be able to top that. And would you luck would have it, oh my god, we do top deck. And it shows off kind of this game, this from the rest of here, it's kind of downhill. We just kill him. But this does show off a very cool interaction, if you weren't aware, is that Flamberge can trigger when it's discarded from hand. So none of the Snake Eye cards say, like, when they're sent from field to the graveyard. It is if this card is sent to the graveyard. So you could even, I'm sorry, if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, my bad. You can't mill it. That's what I was gonna say, but that's illegal. So we trigger these 2 effects. He imperms our Diabell Star Witch, and sure, bud, like, who cares? And he maxes me, and I say, sure, bud, who cares? You would think this is scary, right? Imperm, maxi, but no, it's not, because Flamberge triggers when it is sent from the hand to the graveyard. So we're going to get back our Birch, and we're going to get back our Ash. I'm going to be very careful to put these in attack mode on purpose, because we're going to search Popular. We're going to see, hey, you have 5,700 life points. I'm going to search my Divine Temple and activate it, and then suddenly all of these monsters' attack points are going to go to very high totals, and I just summoned 3 X-Head cannons against you, and now I'm swinging for lethal. GG. So that's just a couple fun things that you can do in those types of game states. This replay just kind of shows you Flamberge can trigger when it leaves your hand to go to the graveyard, and also Divine Temple makes all of the little guys huge. It just spawns a bunch of damage for no reason. So if you are facing an empty board, you can just destroy the opponent. You can just burn their house down. So those cards are pretty good. This last replay, I don't remember what happens in this replay. Oh, yes, I do, actually. So this replay is just another showcase of this deck's kind of resilience. This time we're going second. And we open a really strong hand, and I'm really, feeling the flow. I am full Zexal up in this Snake Eye house, and I don't know how to feel about that statement that I just made on the internet publicly. So our opponent is going to, do some gold prize stuff. Who cares? They searched their trap card. And I'm just going to, say, okay, I'm going to go Wanted Effect, get my Black Witch. You do not Ash me. I'm going to say that's fine. I'm going to say normal summon Ash. You already know my hand is busted. So I'm going to summon Poplar F, and he's going to chain the pop. And I'm like, that's really weird. Until he chains Dimension Shifter, and then it all starts to make sense. And I say, oh, you chain this because of Dimension Shifter. Oh. So, once again, I'm going to be adding the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye to my hand, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to get Snake Eye Oak, and I'm just going to punch over Rollerballer. I don't know why he didn't use Rollerballer. Maybe he couldn't for some reason. I don't know. I don't play Gold Pride. I don't know if there was like something preventing him, but anyway, he didn't use it, so I punched over it, and then he starts his turn by activating Ready Fusion, which is sure Dragoness of the Wicked Eye, whatever. You know, so they go for the chariot, and you know they start searching. So I'm afraid of getting cooked. I'm under shifter, but then again we're also playing against Gold Pride, so who knows? You know, he summons this dude out. He punches over us. He punches over again with Gold Pride, and I thought he was going to make maybe a Zeus or something. He didn't do that. And, you know, he triggers his dudes. He starts drawing cards, and I say, okay, well, if you're going to summon out, I'm going to go for Snake Eye Oak off of my field spell. You're going to search a trap card in the end phase. That's not useful because you can't use that card. I'm going to use Snake Eye Oak effect and special from the banish pile. If you did not know this, because this was news to me, like this stream, like I learned this today. Oak can special summon from the banish pile too. So if you get shiftered, if you play against a shifter deck, which is one of the few things that destroys this deck, Oak is kind of a solution to that. Like, you know, if you don't get OTK'd, you can Divine Temple, put the Oak into the spell trap zone, and just get back your dudes and start generating advantage. So, and this is all in his end phase. So I go Ash effect, you know, to search, and he's gonna Ash me. He's gonna Ash my Ash in the end phase, and I say, sure, I can use it again next turn. That's fine. I don't care. And then he's gonna go Nitro Head, give me a free token, and I say, thank you. That is very useful. So I'm going to tribute off my two guys with Ash. He's going to go for Call By. I'm going to chain cross out. And I think you can see where this is going. You know, like, our hand is very powerful now because I don't know if the game gets this far. I think he concedes, like, as soon as I unpause this. But you can already see here we have the same setup as last time, where we have Diabell Star plus Flamberge. I can just start my turn by special summon this, pitch this, soul charge these two back, and resolve the effect to special summon from deck. So I'm going to start with a ton of advantage. And I know, like, one of these cards in your hand already, so only two of these are maybe real cards. You're probably dead. You know, like, I have so much gas here. You're probably dead. So I summon out the Oak, and I triggered to target my Populace because I can do that too. And he skips it. That's like 7 monsters we're about to have, and that is a lot of, you know, that's a lot. A lot of stuff is going on there. So those are some games that I have played with this deck in the past hour. If that doesn't convince you that this deck is pretty good, I don't know what will. So I'm going to show you the deck list now. And you're going to like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll make a proper combo video sometime within the next 7 days. Okay? Okay. So we're going to get into the deck profile real quick, because this is just a very early draft. Shout outs to Judy Wangio, best Brazilian streamer. Also, currently deputized mod in chat. I don't know if he's awake or paying attention, but yeah, shout outs to him, because we kind of cooked this together on stream. He was feeding me some ideas, and I was like, dang, you're really smart. No wonder you went to Worlds. So anyway, this deck list is pretty solid. So shout outs to him for some of the text here. So I'm just going to go through this in the way that makes sense. I'll try and do this fast because this video is going to be long because we went through like 4 replays. So yeah. And remember, if you don't know what these cards are, because I go kind of fast, you can always download the Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck Tracker for Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel in the description below, and then just copy paste it into the game using the code that I'm going to put in my Discord. It's very easy. I'll even put it in the description of this video, so it's even easier for you. So, yeah, just do that. Download it. Anyway, we played 3 Snake-Eyed Ash. This is the normal summon of the deck. It's Stratos, but also it is Emergency Teleport, because you can add a level 1 fire monster from your deck to hand. Important to note, this can also add the Jet Synchron. It does not have to be a Snake-Eye monster. And then you can also send it and another face-up card on your field to special summon a Snake-Eye monster from your hand or deck. And They all kind of do that. The good ones have that effect. So Snake Eye Ash, that's the normal summon. The other normal summon is Snake Eye Oak. If you play Dragon Link, this is kind of like a Rocket Synchron, because if it's normal or special summon, you target a level 1 fire that is either in your graveyard or banished. The banished, we went over that in the replay, is this pretty good card. This is your follow-up monster, but also one that you go into during your combos. And then it has the same effect, literally the exact same text. Send 2 cards, including itself. Summon a Snake Eye monster from your deck. So the one that you're usually going to be summoning from the deck is Flamberge. This is kind of the big boss monster of the deck, but I'll talk about him in a second. The other main deck Snake Eye, the other little one, is Popular, who is the one that we did not expect to get, because I think it just came out in the TCG today. Like, I think it is coming out within the next 48 hours, if it's not already out, in the TCG. And it's in Master Duel as well, and in the UCG. So every format has this card at the same time, which is kind of a surprise, I'm not gonna lie, because we've always been behind. And this card is broken. This card, like if it's added to your hand except by drawing it, it's kind of like a Salamangreat Meek, where you can just special it. But then if it's normally special summon, you can add a Snake Eye Spell Trap from your deck to your hand. And the Snake Eye Spell Traps are very, 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 very good. They're some of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. But then also, the downside of all the Snake Eye Spell Traps is that you have to send a card from your field to the graveyard to use them, and you have to pay that cost. But this card also invalidates that cost because it puts itself into the spell trap zone for you to send it. It eliminates the cost of the good cards. This card's very good. So we play 2 of that. You don't need to play 3. It's a bit much. Then we play 1 Snake Eye Birch. This card, because we're playing pure Snake Eye, this card is just an extender. It's kind of like a Popular, but like if you already use Poplar effect, you can search this with where Art Thou, for example, because this is our bootleg bonfire. So this is just a searchable extender. It doesn't really do much for you, but sometimes it comes up. Sometimes it's nice to just have a monster you can summon from hand. So that's what Birch does. You can summon it from hand if you control fire. Then moving on to Flamberge, which I said I would talk about. So Flamberge is the big boss of the deck, and this card is Soul Charge. This is like your Heretic Seal Soul Charge kind of monster, where it has like 3 main effects. You can target a card, or you can target a monster, I'm sorry, in either field or graveyard. Either player's field or graveyard. Let me repeat that. Either field or graveyard, and put it in the spell trap zone of the owner of that card. So some people in Twitch chat didn't know that this could take your own cards and put them in the spell trap zone, which is kind of relevant for this deck when it goes first in the combos. Yeah. So be aware of that. The second effect is that then on the opponent's turn, you can quick effect summon a monster that is in a spell trap zone. So these 2 effects kind of self-synergize, where like you want to put the boss monster on the field because it puts guys into the spell trap zones, and then you summon them from the spell trap zones. So you can kind of like monster reborn your guys that way. Like that's kind of like what you do with it, so that you can like summon a dude and then like slowly monster reborn it, which is relevant for the deck. And then of course it has the Soul Charge effect, which you guys saw. If it's sent from the hand or field to graveyard, special 2 level 1 fires from your graveyard. It does not target, but it does have to summon 2. So if you do not have 2 targets, it is not up to 2 targets. It is 2 targets. It has to be able to summon 2. So just be careful of that, because I have oopsied with that a few times tonight already, because I wasn't paying attention. So be careful of that. But that's Flamberge. Then moving on to the other main engine of the deck is the Diabellstar or Wanted engine. So Diabellstar, the Black Witch, she is one of the other new cards that we just got on this new set, and you can summon her from your hand. That's an inherent summon by sending a card from your hand or field to the grave, and then you can only summon her once per turn that way. But then when she is normal or special, you can set a Sinful Spoil spell trap from your deck directly, which is the quick play spell, which is the Rhoda. It is a quick play Rhoda to search exactly her, because you don't really play other targets, or the original Simple Spoils Snake Eye, right? So there's cross-pollination of the archetypes here. So she either gets you this or this, right? And then Poplar either gets you this, the original Sinful Spoils, or it gets you the field spell, right? And now this allows me to talk about the field spell. The field spell, kind of a cool card. When it's activated, you can take a Snake Eye monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard and put it in its owner's spell trap zone as a continuous spell. And then level 1 fire monsters you control gain 1100 attack. That is a huge power boost for no reason. I don't know why it makes them so massive. And then also, if your opponent normals or special summons a monster, you can summon one of your monsters that is being treated as a continuous spell and put it on the field. Or actually, it's not one of your monsters. It's any monster, because my opponent once stole one of my guys from Spell Trap Zone. So be careful of that as well, if they have this card face up. But so the idea with this is that this allows you to put Flamberge from your deck into your Spell Trap Zone. And what you can do with this is you can use this as an insurance policy against Nibiru as well, because you can use that Flamberge as like a deterrent. Like, because if they nib you, you get to summon the Flamberge, and then you just link off the Flamberge, and then you soul charge, and suddenly you have a link 4 monster after you just got Nibiru. So it's pretty good. It also gets the Flamberge out of deck so that you can send it with like an original Sinful Spoils or with a Snake Eye Oak or an Ash or whatever, and trigger the soul charge effect yourself if you don't want your opponent to like if you don't care if your opponent has nib, you know, you can always do that as well. So that's what this does. It's very, very cool. I think we've already talked about Wear Off Thou. It's a bootleg bonfire, basically. If you control a level 1 monster, you can add a level 1 monster. So the idea here is if you normal summon Snake Eye Ash and you get impermed in the TCG or OCG, the idea is that you would then play Bonfire and add Poplar, and then Poplar would summon, and the Bonfire just trades for the Ash. It's like a Call by the Grave. So it's the same concept here. You know, it's literally serving the exact same purpose. The Birch is here because if you already have a way to resolve this, you know, you can use this. You know, same concept, right? Yeah. And then we play the 1-for-1 as well. You know, 1-for-1 tutors the other guys. But the thing that Where Art Thou does that is cool in this deck is, and I didn't talk about, is that we're playing Magician Souls. Magician Souls is kind of a weird tech that we dabble with, and you guys might be familiar with because I played it in Dragon Link recently. But this card can special summon itself by dumping a level 6 or higher spellcaster, which Diabellstar the Black Witch is. And then it can send spell trap cards that you control to the graveyard to draw cards. And all of these guys get counted as spell trap cards when they're put into the spell trap zone. So you can just send them because they were put there for free, and then you can draw cards, and that's very funny when you place a Flamberge into your spell trap zone, and then you send it in the field spell, and you draw 2 cards, and then you summon 2 cards, and then this card went +4, and then you make Selene, and you summon back the Diabellstar that you didn't start with, and you put in the graveyard, and then you use its special power to search another card, and it is gross. Please try this card. It is very, 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 very good. Very good. But also another cool thing that you can do with this deck, and I will show you the combo line in the video that I promised you guys, is that it allows you, like, if you open this plus the Snake Eye Ash, you're able to go into an Apollo before you start comboing. Like, it's just a 2-card combo. And it lets you summon Apollo before you start to play the game, as well as soft search Diabellstar Black Witch if you didn't start with it. It's really good. So definitely try it out. It also turns on Wear Off Thou. So there's a lot of random synergies going on here. Very, very cool stuff. And then we, of course, for the last engine monster, last engine card really, is Jet Synchron. Jet Synchron's just here because you can summon it off of original Sinful Spoils, and you use it to make the Synchro monsters to give this deck some negation, give it kind of a beefier board. So pretty cool card. For the rest of the deck, the rest is just hand traps and defensive cards. This deck has a lot of space for them, so I am currently playing 3 Drone Lockbird because this card also helps you beat Maxi, as I showed you in one video, or in one replay, I should say. This you control yourself in this deck, so this is like 3 more Call by the Graves, as well as being really good into the mirror match sometimes, because like Droll plus a hand trap can be really good into the mirror, but you can also Droll yourself. It's weird. It just trust me. I don't know. Just trust me. It's good. Then we played the 3 Maxi, obviously 3 Ash for the Maxis, obviously, and then I'm playing 1 Veiler, 1 Imperm, which seems like weird ratios until you realize we're also playing Gamma. And the Gamma idea came from GDU because there's a lot of ways to just bait the opponent into like hand trapping you. Like they might Droll you early, they might Ash you early, like you might go original Sinful Spoils, send like a DUEL star, and then they Ash you or they Max C you, and then you Gamma them, and then you make a Savage. Or you just use this as free material to send away, or you use it as link material to go into any of your link monsters, and it's just good, you know. So it's pretty solid. I've caught a few people with it. I don't think they're really playing around it in this matchup, but it's pretty solid, so try it out. And yeah, these otherwise would just be extra copies of Impermanent Veiler, but because it's good going both first and second, you know, we threw it in. And I think that's the deck, other than like Callby's Crosshouse, you know why those are there. So going into the extra deck's a little bit silly. You play Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron is part of a combo. You usually summon this on turn 1, and then you put in the Spell Trap Zone with Flamberge and summon on the opponent's turn. Use it to make Baron. You play the Savage Dragon, because Savage Dragon you can make really, really early in this deck in order to protect the rest of your plays. If you just open the Black Witch. If you just open Black Witch, you get to make Savage before you start playing the game. Pretty good. And then, of course, we play Link Kuriboh. Link Kuriboh enables a lot of the kind of early plays, you know, with like Poplar, link up into Link Kuriboh, and then get a free material to send away with the spell card. So pretty good card. Sunlight Wolf, you can make it and loop back one of your guys. So usually on turn 1, I like to make this, and then trigger Flamberge, summon 2 guys underneath it, and then add back like Oak or Ash, whatever I have in the graveyard, just so that next turn I start with a normal summon again. And because I'm starting with a normal summon, I can use the Wanted to put back this and draw another card, kind of like Chaos Space. So a lot of resource management going on here. Hida, obviously, because everybody's going to Ash you. Everybody plays Ash. This deck wants to use fire monsters. You Hida. Good card. IP Masquerena, this one is probably the weakest link right now in this current deck list. It doesn't really have much that it wants to go into. That's something that maybe you could change about this deck list. But she's in here. You should be playing her in Snake Eye. It's just that I cut the good target for her because SP Little Knight's not in the game, and I wanted to play Dark Charmer, because Dark Charmer take an opposing DUEL Star Black Witch is pretty good. This could also be Unicorn. It's about that. Then, of course, we play Celine. Celine is really, really good because you're playing both of these Charmers here, you know, so you can go Charmer into Celine, into Reborn your Drone Lockbirds, or your DUEL Star Black Witch, or your Magician Souls, you know, so you can use the Magician Souls to feed this, and then you can make this on turn 1 and get it back, and that way you can, you know, you have like 1 million copies of all your cards. So just nice little synergies adding up, but you can also use this to make access code and just kill people the way that you normally would. We play Heat Soul, of course, because Link Kuriboh plus Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf is a Heat Soul that draws you 1 to 2 cards, depending on how you play out your turn. So this is pretty good. So, of course, you have the Heat Soul plus the formula, so you're drawing a bunch of cards in this deck. You're just... If you full combo and you have less than like 5 or 6 cards in your hands, plus a full board, I would be genuinely shocked. Then we play Princess. This is probably like the most enabling card of all these fire decks in the entire game. It's not Bonfire, it's this card, because it's Monster Reborn for any fire, but also you can summon it back by popping a fire and popping one of their dudes, and then it doesn't banish itself like most cards that do this type of thing do. So it just keeps coming back every turn. This card's really good. It's also generic. So you can like put a fire in your graveyard, like if you get hand trapped, And then you can just make it with like any of these other cards and then just summon something back. So like this card's really good. Then you play the Amblo Whale. You've probably seen this before, but these go together. Basically, the Amblo Whale is there because it's generic, and you know you need a fire to go into because Princess locks you into fires, and it's the like only good Link 4 fire. But it synergizes with Princess because if it's destroyed, you can summon back a Link 3 or lower in your graveyard. And then if a Link 3 or lower in the field is destroyed by a battle card effect, you can banish it and pop another card. So Princess would float into like Princess floats with Amblo Whale. Amblo Whale, because it was destroyed, summons back another guy. So you could summon back a Heat Soul, draw a card on your opponent. And then if one of, like, say they kill your Heat Soul, then you kill whatever killed their Heat Soul. So, like, the synergy is just stacking up really nicely. And then we play Apollo, Bow the Goddess, obviously, because, like, you can make it really easily with this, like, with this deck, especially with the Selene and stuff. So you can protect yourself really nicely with this card. We play the access code to lethal people. And then we still play World Sea Dragon as Atlantis. A lot of people have asked me about this, and it's like, why are you playing this? Because we don't have the Salamangreat Raging Phoenix yet. You know, he's not in the game yet. So if you're familiar with this deck in like TCG or OCG, there's an OTK with one of the new Salamangreat Link 4s that Master Duel doesn't have yet, where what you do is you make the Amblo Whale, Princess is in your graveyard, you go into Zelantis, Zelantis tags out the whole board, and as long as they have one monster on the field, you know, your Princess triggers because a monster was summoned to their field, so you then pop a fire monster you control and pop their guy, and then you summon it back, and then because a fire monster was destroyed, the Salamangreat comes back, and it gains its attack points, and then you have like 1,000,000 damage out of nowhere, and you just push them. But we're still playing this because that interaction still can come up, just without the extra damage coming back from Raging Phoenix. That's come up for us a few times, because something that you can do is you can bait your opponent into using their removal by going for Selene, for example, into an access code, and then they might, maybe they imperm your access code, and it's like, oh darn, I can't kill you. Psych! I'm gonna go into Zelantis, tag out the board. Princess is gonna come back, pop your dude, you know, by popping one of my fires, and then I'm going to swing at you. This is going to pop more cards because it pops cards, because it does that too. And then their whole board is going to explode even after they impermed your access code, and they're just going to quit Master Duel. And that's about where we're at. Yeah, this has been a very long video. I did not expect this to go on for very long, so I'm going to end the video now. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will be back with more videos about this deck. Goodbye.